Business risk analytics is the science of combining information from across the organization to highlight areas that need attention, to prioritize those areas so that the business spend is in alignment with the business risk and customer experience. Customer experience within any service provider is becoming increasingly important. The customer experience is difficult to measure. We tend to, as an industry, look to see are the different network elements operating properly. And while the elements may be operating properly, that doesn't necessarily mean the customer has a good quality of experience. By combining information from these three areas, the call center, field operations, and the network operations center, we have the most complete picture of the customer experience and which customers and which portions of the neighborhood, if you will, are having issues with the service at any given point in time. That's why a tool like RiskView is so capable of being able to provide that information and why it's so valuable to operators. What's exciting for RiskView with MSOs right now is that within any MSO, there's a fair amount of disparate data that's located in different silos within the organization. And RiskView is really well structured to pull that data together. If you go into any MSO, you'll find that there's an awful lot of data available around calls that came in, an awful lot of data available around truck rolls and repeat truck rolls, escalations to maintenance, disconnect activity, and also a lot of data in the Network Operations Center around devices online, offline, suffering from issues regarding error rates, noise levels, power levels. What's unique about RiskView is it can come in very quickly, assemble information from across those different silos, and provide real value to the operator because they're able to see their financial expenses in a way they've never seen them before. They can really see where they're bleeding and where they're spending money that is very, very out of the norm for regular procedures. One of the best values that RiskView brings to a cable operator is the ability to quantify the cost of operations for any particular segment in the network. So for example, an MSO that has 10,000 nodes can very easily produce a list of all 10,000 nodes and what the cost is to operate each one. We'll find that that list stratifies quite a lot. There's very low cost operation nodes, there's very high cost operation nodes, and several in the middle. What RiskView helps you do is find those high cost operations nodes so that you can focus activity on them to drive cost out of the business while raising customer satisfaction at the same time. The distinction between financial risk and reputational risk is simple. Financial risk are the kinds of costs that the operator tracks very closely today, whether they're phone calls or truck rolls or repeat truck rolls. Reputational risk takes into account not only phone calls and truck rolls, but failed telemetry readings. So you can account for grossly out-of-spec equipment that's providing poor service before somebody calls. What RiskView is able to do is to assemble the various pieces of information systemically, quickly, and provide a prioritized list of work. We have found that that prioritized list of work can contain as many as 30% more items than the business-as-usual processes identified on their own. The addition of the 30% allows them to reprioritize the list and figure out where they're going to get the biggest bang for their buck in maintenance efforts. The financial model is based on, number one, understanding all the costs that an operator has, phone calls, truck rolls, network telemetry readings that are out of spec, etc. From that, we know exactly what the operator is spending in order to run the network. We then identify issues that need to be worked, and once they're worked, we track the decrease in cost of providing service to those areas. Deploying RiskView is a rather simple task compared to many of the activities that happen in the IT and OSS parts of the business. RiskView is a simple, single server solution that can run in a virtual machine environment. The configuration of RiskView involves attaching RiskView to different data sources within the organization. For example, we need to attach to the call center database so we can track calls that are coming about connectivity issues. Typical inputs for an MSO would include connectivity calls from the call center, truck rolls from the field, repeat truck rolls from the field, disconnects from the field, any field activity that's referred to in escalation to maintenance, and telemetry data from the NOC. What differs RiskView from other big data solutions is an extensive amount of domain knowledge around cable TV and service providers in general. The importation of cable TV transactions that really matter to the business represent a very subset of the overall transactions that the business is involved in. By using our domain knowledge, we can actually only get the particular transactions of interest to us. And so that allows us to not worry about a big portion of the business which really doesn't affect this operational aspect that we're talking about in terms of plant maintenance. So by getting just the select records that we want from the call center, from the field operations center, and from the network operations center, we have a very lightweight database that's running on a Windows class machine and able to provide very reasonable feedback very quickly within days of install. The difference between the cost of operation before and after RiskView is identified and the issue has been worked is a direct savings to the operator. This savings is expressed in dollars that come out of the cost of operations. It's also expressed in increase in customer satisfaction.